All right, everyone, welcome. Welcome to our Jumpstart bonus days. Last week was really awesome. It was incredible to see everyone showing up and going through all of their homework. And we're finally all homework free. Doesn't that feel good? I just want to give a warm welcome to everyone so far who has joined us in the Hash-A Protocol Reset. For people joining us for the first time today, and there are people that are new, I'm Dr. Rob Van Bergen. I am a doctor of natural medicine, a doctor of humanitarian services, and I hold a PhD in natural medicine as well. I am one of the founders of Pain Free for Life, and I'm your host for the 5-day Jumpstart. So welcome once again to everyone live and everyone watching the replay. I'd like to encourage you to introduce yourself if you're new, or just let us know if you're a familiar face, who you are, where you're watching from, and what you're hoping to achieve here. We still have people joining the Jumpstart. Even though the first 5 days is over, it's not too late to get caught up. So if you're trying to get caught up, here are 3 key pieces of info for you today. So first off, text your concierge, Leo, if you have a cell phone. Text number is 415-688-2045. You can access your replays, your workbook, and get on the Facebook page at the website pffljumpstartreplays.com. You can also get on Zoom with me at pffljumpstartzoom.com. Please remember that all replays and the Facebook group is going to be closed down on Wednesday, January 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific. That is also when enrollment closes for the Hash-A Protocol Reset with Jumpstart bonuses, savings, etc. I will talk all about those today in brief as well. Now, this week is a bit different. Last week, we went through 5 structured lessons in your workbook. This week, I want to focus on our bonus content sessions for the Jumpstart. So check the event listings for what's going on there. These will be listed in the Facebook group, and they're also in your workbook schedule. We also have another closed door meeting. I believe that's tomorrow. So if you have questions about the Hash-A Protocol Reset, you want to ask me directly, text Leo to get the information about that event tomorrow. That's the only way to score a private invitation, is to reach out to Leo. You can't get into the closed door meetings without connecting with your concierge. So although we are coming to a close here, it really is not too late to invite a friend that you think could benefit. So you can find the invitation and the graphic to invite people as well in the guide section of the Jumpstart Facebook page. They do need to register to be able to join, okay? So other than that, let's dive right into today's lesson. I hinted this morning in my Q&A session that this is actually my favorite lesson to teach, and I think you'll see why as you get into it here. There is so much important information surrounding mindset. It really and truly is one of the most critical components in any healing modality, whether it's the reset, whether it's microcurrent, whether it's anything that you're already doing. Mindset is critical. And in this lesson, I get to really kind of peel back the onion and talk about why. So welcome, everyone, to the first bonus day, this one titled Developing the Pain Free for Life Mindset. Remembering that last week we covered the 5 core lessons of the Jumpstart. This week, learning continues with really an expansion of what I discussed last week on day 5. There are several important components that we've discussed this week that all lead into developing this mindset. But the concepts of ownership, action, and consistency, these are the important foundations of building that pain-free for life mindset. So first off, we have the power of the mind. There is very little out there more powerful than our mind. It is a crucial and imperative piece of the human puzzle. It runs automatic functions within our body consistently every day of our lives, and it's done this since we first drew breath. It's like a computer that never stops, even when we sleep. Our heart beats without us thinking about it. Our lungs breathe without us thinking about it. Blood pressure, sweating, salivating, the movement of food through the intestine, and more all happen without us having to ask it to, right? It just happens. So on top of all this, we use our mind every day to think, right? We're constantly thinking. We're making decisions, and we're controlling every aspect of our being. If I want to pick up this glass of water, I'm thinking about doing it before I do it, right? It is the action that activates these things is thinking. It is the mind. Conversely, the mind, while it can do all these wonderful things, can also do bad things too. It can create inflammation. It can send us cascading into a fight or flight mode. It can prevent us from sleeping. It can trigger the stress response, stall digestion, and just in general, make our lives miserable. It really can. It is an incredibly powerful tool, the mind, and we need to nurture it and essentially weaponize it. We can use it to our advantage when it comes to healing. So this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but there is a lot of power in positive thinking. People who think positive thoughts tend to live better, healthier lives than those that don't, and that is a scientific fact. A positive mind resists stress more easily, and in turn, it leads to us spending more time in a parasympathetic state. We're not in fight or flight anymore, passively and consistently healing instead of feeding the fires of inflammation, okay? And this can lead to tons and tons of health benefits, many of which have been documented and recorded in studies. Now, I like to say I'm British born, okay? I lived in England until I was 12 and a bit when we moved. And so British people, in my experience, are pessimistic. I have a pessimistic outlook on things. And it does bite you in the butt because it is the antithesis of positive thinking. It's the opposite of thinking positively is thinking negatively. So I have had to work extremely hard to put positive thinking into my mindset and to actually shift that. And you know, not trying to generalize for all British people here, but everyone in my extended British family is kind of pessimistic. And it's not like we're miserable people or anything like that. It's just there tends to be this outlook of it doesn't really matter how good of a day we had or I had. I tend to look at what negative things I can find in it. And that's just no good for anyone. Positive thinking is truly crucial, right, to this good power of the mind. You can see that recorded benefits of positive thinking include an increased lifespan, lower rates of depression, lower levels of distress and pain, greater resistance to illnesses, better psychological and physical well-being, better cardiovascular health, and reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease and stroke. So simply by thinking positively, you can reduce your chance of just having a heart attack and dying. Reduced risk of death from cancer, reduced risk of death from respiratory conditions, reduced risk of death from infections, and better coping skills during hardships and times of stress, all just from thinking positively. Isn't that crazy? So the negative breeds like poison in our bodies, and it really and truly can spread and destroy. That's what it does. It can just spread through the body and it can destroy all of the hard work we're putting into it. When you're looking at positive versus negative thinking, you can really see the power of the brain. And we need to look to the brain and the mind as something that really should be nurtured into a positive thinking machine if we hope to succeed. Many people suffering from chronic pain or from chronic disease will struggle with the concept of positive thinking, right? And that is a given as well. It can be a ruthless challenge to get through your day sometimes. But as I was saying all of last week, small actions for big effects, right? It can be easier said than done, but you have to agree with me in this case that it is the best path, okay? Positive thinking, try really hard to overcome that negativity of, am I gonna be in pain tomorrow? Am I gonna be in pain in an hour? Is this going to do this? Is it gonna stop me doing this? If I go and try and do this, will I be defeated by my pain? Yes, that's the answer you come up with, right? Because that's just where our mind goes. So let's take a look at the ability of the brain to both heal, but also to destroy. So this is known as the placebo effect. Very commonly known. I know I'm not telling anyone anything that they don't know already, but you wait for it. It gets interesting. The official placebo effect is when a person's physical or mental health appears to improve after taking a placebo or a dummy treatment, right? Something that is not truly going to work. Placebo is actually Latin for I will please and refers to a treatment that appears real, but is often designed to have absolutely no therapeutic benefit. Now, medical science actually seems to struggle to explain the placebo effect. But ultimately, this concept explains to us the importance of positive thinking. Cases have been recorded of cancers disappearing, people getting instantly better, and more, all from thinking they were in these medical trials on the actual medication, even though they were on a sugar pill. This is like tumors, literal tumors in the body disappearing because of the placebo effect. Now, in many cases, the placebo effect actually will beat out medications for results. And I believe that the threshold for what a medication needs to do as far as success is extremely low to be considered successful and to get FDA approval to become a drug for that thing. I do believe that they usually want it to beat placebo effects, but they just can't explain the placebo effect enough to be able to say, well, this didn't work. You can actually get the recorded information from the people that successfully took the actual drug. I digress. People's positivity over what they perceive to be answers will allow their minds to actually make changes instantly. And you can see that just by sitting there and taking a deep breath and saying to yourself, I'm going to be fine. This can actually make a change. It can make you feel better, right? And there's been a few doctors I've worked with on our Pain Free for Life podcast where we've done some exercises, like even just basic mantras, that I've had comments come back on those from people saying, wow, I did this and it literally changed my life. And all it was truly weaponizing the power of the mind. It was the power of positive thinking. But as good as the placebo effect is, and as good as positive thinking is, the other side of the coin is the nocebo effect, because it can go the other way. So the nocebo effect is lesser known than the placebo effect, but it is also a scientific benefit, right? Or scientific proof. It is a real thing that science recognizes. A situation, this is how it's defined, in which a patient develops side effects or symptoms that can occur with a drug or other therapy just because the patient believes they may occur. This is the way that they explain people that are given a sugar pill in these trials, that then experience the side effects of the medications as if they'd been given them. But there is a more sinister side to it as well. So this would be an example of, I give you a sugar pill and say, look, this is a new cancer drug that will cure your cancer, but it will give you horrible diarrhea in 80% of people. And then even though it's a sugar pill, you take it and you start having horrible diarrhea, or you start getting cramps, or whatever it may be. This is the power of your mind to create that negative. And people that are worried, we call them worrywarts, right? People that worry all the time, people that think negatively all the time are much more susceptible to the nocebo effect. That's when you're in the line in the store and someone sneezes a few people ahead of you and you think, oh my goodness, I'm totally going to get sick. And then lo and behold, 2 days later, you have a sore throat and you're sneezing as well, right? It's the power to overwrite that mental thinking and activate all of those symptomologies in your brain. It doesn't mean that the brain is making things up either, right? They are very real effects. This is the power of the mind. It can actually create and it can destroy. So the nocebo effect proves to us that our brains have the capacity to actually cause disease, symptoms, and more. There have been cases where people have been given a sugar pill and told that one of the side effects is potentially neuropathy, numbness and burning in the legs, and that they will not actually be, they may be at risk of not being able to feel their legs anymore as a result of it, or just getting the tingling sensation through it. And people within 1 day of taking the placebo have experienced that side effect. And it's interesting that when shown that the medication is not the real one that they're taking and that it is the placebo, they can actually have those symptoms reverse almost instantly. This is the explanation as well to the person that can totally feel healthy that gets a cancer diagnosis during a routine checkup and then rapidly declines within weeks. You know, you go and someone says, I think there's something wrong here. And then they have tests and then they say, you have cancer. And you just snowball downhill because you were totally fine before and you were happy. But as soon as you start to think and dread all of the things that could manifest as a result of this, your world collapses. And this is the nocebo effect. Whoops. This is the nocebo effect at its worst. The importance here is that the brain can heal and the brain can harm. So mindset is critical in the healing process. So the brain on a scope. So this is a quote I found from John Kelly, who's the deputy director of Harvard Medical School. And he said, whenever you look at any randomized control trials, it's surprising how similarly the side effect profile for the placebo often mirrors the side effect profile for the active treatment. It's the power of imagination. If you ask someone to imagine a visual scene in their minds, you can see on an MRI that their occipital lobes, the parts of their brains involved with vision, are activated. If you tell people to imagine doing some physical activity, you'll see the motor cortex showing activation. Just imagining something is happening is enough to activate those portions of the brain associated with that thought or worry or pain. So think about that. This is, again, shown to be true. It does not mean that pain is truly made up, because the pain is actually extremely real. But it means that we can worry ourselves, we can concern ourselves into making pain worse in the same way that we can imagine that it's better and push it to that point. So ultimately, what does it mean? If nothing else, it should tell you to be cautious about how you allow your brain to perceive and distribute information. If you take nothing more away from it than that, take that away from it, okay? Be cautious about how you perceive and distribute information. Try your best to think positively, and I know it's easier said than done for many, especially if you've been in pain and discomfort for years, but try to not allow your pain to make you think you'll never get better. When I have patients that come to me and they actually tell me, look, I'm just convinced that this won't work, I will often tell them not to even try. You need to shift that mindset. If you are convinced that you are never going to get better no matter what, then you're never going to get better no matter what, because your brain is going to manifest that actual reality for you, right? If someone has even a glimmer of hope, that is enough to allow the brain to stop manifesting worse and worse symptoms. The general consensus in the conventional medical world about the nocebo effect is that if you believe a treatment won't help you, it probably won't. This would be the same as if I was taking a medication, if I was using microcurrent, if I was changing my diet. If I sat there and I thought to myself, there's no way this is going to help me, and I took the pill anyway, well, it's not going to help me. If I am actually convinced that it will do nothing, it will do nothing. So we have to make sure we get our brain on our side, because then you're going to have this insanely powerful ally in your healing journey, right? Know that this technology, that this protocol has healed tens of thousands of people around the world, and it can do that for you as well. It really is possible. It is not a lie. It is not a falsity. There are loads of people that are getting these results. And the only thing holding us back from overtaking the pharmaceutical companies is the regulatory bodies, the FDA, Health Canada, who say this is only cleared for the treatment and management of pain. Well, so is Tylenol. Why is someone going to want to try this if they can just take a pill? There's a lot of issues with these miracle reversals we see not counting for Adam to many people. And so we need to be able to move through that and just keep helping people. That is what we're trying to do here. But you do need to make sure your brain is on your side and know that healing is possible and that it's very, very accessible. So back to the pain-free for life mindset. This is a little bit more of a recap from Friday, because all of this manifests into the importance of understanding that in order to actually achieve a pain-free life, the words ownership, action, and consistency are key. On Wednesday, you'll be able to have an opportunity to hang out with me and with our lead coordinator, Annie. And Annie is a huge taskmaster when it comes to these things, because we often feel that the people that don't get results that they're looking for are the people that are not willing to put in the time, the ownership, the action, the consistency. These things are key. There's no one that's going to pick up a magic wand, wave it, and heal you for you. You have to be willing to put in the time. And it can be tempting to rely on suppressive medications or miracle cures, but part of the problem with the sick care system is just that, right? It's a lack of ownership. It is a lack of action. It's a lack of consistency. It makes it incredibly easy for us to sit back and just break down in peace, degenerate in peace, as my dad would say. We may not know we're breaking down, but we are. We absolutely can't allow that if we want to resolve our problem. Now, healing, just like pain, is a journey, right? Your chronic pain didn't just develop overnight, and healing is the same. When we see pain-free miracles every day working with the Hache protocol, everyone heals at a different pace. The pace is determined by the building blocks that we've been talking about all week: stress levels, nutrition, fitness, sleep, microcurrent. When these elements meet each other and create harmony with each other, the body enters that harmonic state and the issues will begin to right themselves. How long does it all take to heal? Well, we do say this all the time because we see miracles every day. It's almost hard to see them as miracles anymore. Now, some people will get better within a few weeks. I've seen same-day miracles. I've seen 1-week healing circles where someone throws their medications out and walks away victorious with no more pain. I've also seen 6-month treatments before resolution is achieved, right? Every person is different. The truth is that everyone should notice a sense of positive change within the first 2 treatments if they're dealing with pain. If not, we are looking in the wrong place, and this is where our treatment coordinators come in. It's their job to help you find the issue and take it out. So part of that involves making sure you're willing to talk to them. Let them know, hey, so I've been doing what you suggested for 3 or 4 days, and I'm not really getting anywhere. Because then the issue is we're not looking in the right place, right? Every individual is a mystery that we need to unravel. Your history, your individualization that makes you you is all going to be contributing to your healing journey, to your journey of chronic pain, to your journey of chronic disease, right? What happened to start this? What's happened in between? What medications have you taken? If we don't ask these questions of you, how are we supposed to know? So we ask, and we ask you to be honest, and we move through these things towards success. That is the secret of it all. So we also want to set realistic goals. And when we design the Hache protocol reset, we look to how much time we thought it would take to reset pain and get people better. Now, while we do see treatments swooping in and resolving issues in a day or two, and again, I've seen cases where people have been on walkers or been in wheelchairs with chronic inflammation and tossed them out after a few days, we also know that that is not the normal, right? It can take people a little while to get better, right? Because on a cellular level, there's a certain amount of time that it takes for your disease, damaged, sick cells to replace themselves. Red blood cells, which are our literal lifeblood and deliverers of nutrients all around the body, have a lifespan of 70 to 120 days. So if you're looking for permanent change to your cell structures, this is the time you need to shoot for. You got to leave it in that lineup of that time so that the cells can actually take the time to become new healthy cells and get rid of the defects and the diseases that are occurring as a result of them. This is why we made the Haché protocol reset 90 days. 90 is enough to start to see cell turnover occur, which means we should be seeing significant changes in that time frame. As long as the body is well nurtured and well nourished, both electrically and nutritionally, as long as inflammation is not allowed to stick around and burn everything around it, and our bodies get enough sleep and we reduce our stress, well, then we're setting ourselves up for a clean bill of health when it comes to our cells. Additionally, research has shown that it takes around 60 days for things to become habit forming, meaning that over the course of the reset time period, you will develop real lasting healthy habits, which will prevent any slips down the line and essentially ensure a healthy future. So the mindset, this is where the importance of the pain-free for life mindset comes in. We're looking at the future. We're looking at a life to live, not buying you a few weeks of no pain, but of buying you a lifetime of no pain. So take ownership, right? Remember, your pain is not you. You also have control over so many aspects of your health that can cause this pain, right? Your pain is real. It is real, and that should never be doubted. And it's up to you to do something about it. That is critical. It sounds simple. Maybe it sounds harsh. Maybe I'm saying, look, it's you. You have to do it. But you don't need a person in a white lab coat giving you pills to make you better, right? We have existed as humans for thousands of years. And only in the last, 100 years have we become so dependent on doctors to run our lives and run our health? You are in control. That is the truth. It is your body. And I will be damned if anyone knows your body and knows your health better than you. You have lived it. Your lived experience matters. The next thing is to take action, right? Remember, I've said it a bunch. It's got to be annoying by now. With the choices we make and have to make, we aren't anything else. The actions we take each day, even the thoughts we have in our head that are driving us to think that we're not going to get better. These decisions are the choices we make, and they drive and control our health. And then we have to say consistency, right? Stay consistent with what you're doing, right? Positive change can only occur with that consistency. Slip-ups occur, and we understand that. That happens. Don't let slip-ups become the normal. Stand up, shake it off, get back on the road to get out of chronic pain. Because the path to pain-free living is paved with trials and tribulations, but it's also paved with success, right? You didn't get lost down the path of chronic pain overnight. You stumbled down that a while ago, and now you have to turn around and you have to start that journey back. Most importantly, acknowledge that you can and will get better. Use the power of your mind and you'll unlock the potential of your body. Acknowledge that, keep it in there. And I say this because if you choose not to join us in the reset, if your journey with us ends with the jump start, that is the most powerful thing I want you to take away. Look at the things that you can do to change your life based on what we've gone through in the jump start. And remember that you can and will get better, okay? That is key to all of this. So, the Haché protocol reset. So last week I did reveal the Haché protocol reset, which is our comprehensive program that goes beyond the surface of everything we've been talking about, and it gives you all of the resources you need for success. I know that since that reveal, we've had a big influx of people get invited by our original attendees, hoping to learn more. If you are new, if you're just joining me today and you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to watch the replays of last week at pffljumpstartreplays.com. The goal of the reset program is to provide you with ways to take ownership and be your own advocate, to enable you to take action and to provide the support you need to remain consistent. We have two options for the reset program. The first option is the program only. If you have one of our microcurrent devices, the Evolution or the Pinnacle, you're good to go. you will be able to work through this program with the device you already have, and you don't need to purchase a device to make it work. You're going to get access to a comprehensive workbook that walks you through all of the elements of the Hash-A protocol and teaches you how to implement them into your life. You're going to be able to learn at your own pace in our private learning portal that is hosted off of Facebook, so you don't need to be on Facebook to do it. And if you want, you can also join our Facebook group to get some support there. I will review your supplements and make suggestions based on what conditions you're trying to treat. And you'll even get our Hash-A Protocol Reset cookbook filled with anti-inflammatory recipes for all types of diets, whether that's vegetarian or meat eaters. We've got both of you covered, okay? Your burning questions will also be answered in our monthly live Q&A sessions run by myself and Annie, so you can get clarity and peace of mind on the spot. And these will be alternating between evening and morning times, meaning that wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to attend our Q&As. You'll also get our personalized treatment protocol with our treatment coordinators. So you'll actually be able to work with them to develop a personalized microcurrent plan for you, for your needs, that will guide you through to success. You'll get our stress and nutrition management toolkits as well, and access to our Hash-A Protocol membership video library for additional support. Now, the cost here is $14.95 if you pay in full, or 3 monthly payments of $5.95. And you can save an additional 20% with the code PFFLJUMP24 at checkout. This code expires January 31st at 5 p.m. So if you want to get the deals, you want to get all the bonuses, make sure that you jump in there as well. There's also, I don't know if I mentioned it in the slides, so I'll mention it here. Anyone that signs up during the Jumpstart will also get an invite to join me for a course that will be live where we will actually be going through self-care together and filling out our downloadable self-care planner and all of the important reasons that we need to implement that in there. And yes, to answer that question, yes, the protocol can work if you're already using bioresonance. And I'm not really watching questions in here, guys. I just saw that one come up. So if you're asking questions and you're doing it to host some panelists, then my team don't actually see it. So they won't be able to record it for the Q&A. So make sure you do it to everyone, because then I can answer the questions in the Q&As as well. Okay. Beyond that, what if you don't have one of our microcurrent devices? Well, you're going to benefit from the reset a lot if you have the microcurrent device, a lot more than if you don't, right? And so we highly recommend that you do get one. So we've developed this option here. So you get the same stuff that I just mentioned, but you also get our Avasia Life Evolution Deluxe Kit, which usually costs $2,000 by itself. And we have options to both pay in full or to go through payment plans as well. It's $34.95 if you pay in full, or 3 monthly payments of $13.95. And you can save 20% on both of these options with that same code, PFFLJUMP24 at checkout. Whether you do a payment plan for the device or whether you pay in full, you will get the device right away. We won't hold it up until all your payments are done. We will ship it out next day, okay? All right. So what's in the kit? Well, the Avasia Life Evolution Kit comes with all of the attachments that you need to succeed in the reset. The device itself, of course, which is battery operated with 2 AA batteries, will last you a good month or longer, as well as the Y electrode, the brush electrode, and the pencil electrode, enabling treatments in all sorts of areas of the body, including acupuncture and on the head itself through hair. You'll even be able to treat pets with the brush as well. You'll also get the wires required and conductive pads for the body, as well as the vagus nerve and the trigeminal nerve pads, which is for working on the brain. You'll also get the ear clips for working on sleep and stress reduction as well, and all of it fitting in the carry case with the printed manual and everything that you'll need to make use of the device. Oh, here's the Jumpstart bonuses. So again, this course is available for a limited time at this cost. For people that registered during the Jumpstart, you'll also receive access to some extra bonus content. I did mention most of this already. It's the live self-care course with me, which is scheduled for February 6th, as well as a bunch of our ebooks, all of the replays of the Jumpstart and assets, including slides, so you can review this, what we've done this week, whenever you want. And just making sure that that code is there on your radar because you don't want to miss out on saving 20%, right? So how do you register? Well, if you want to register, you can just head to the hasheprotocolreset.com. Registration closes January 31st of this year, 2024 at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So you've got a couple of days to make your decision, but I hope that you'll be joining us in the reset. There's so much more to cover, and we're just scratching the surface of what it is that we can do, but you're working towards resolution. It's a reset of your body to get it to the point where it was when it was healthy, when it was healed, and when you were able to do all of the things you wanted to do. People last week put in their homework what they would love to get back if microcurrent, if the Hash8 protocol solved their health issues. Pin that in your mind as a vision that is achievable and that you can reach, like so many other people have before you. All right, everyone. So thank you very, very much for joining me. Okay. We are going to see you tomorrow for another bonus session where I believe we're talking about some extra surprising things that microcurrent can accomplish. And until then, I hope if you have any questions, you'll reach out to Leo or to our team to get the support that you need. We're here for you. And it's our entire purpose at the moment is to get back to you and answer your questions. So we're there for you. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful day if you're one of our Australian viewers. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.